welcome to COVID Craft again. I have got nothing homebrew wise to talk about because I'm not racking till secondary till tomorrow. So I'm going to drink some commercial beer instead. I had half a keg of pineapple IPA left in the fridge, in the garage, and that's nearly ready. I think I put it in on Sunday, so it might be properly carved again by tomorrow. So I might be able to try that tomorrow, and maybe I'll do a bit about that. But I'm just going to drink some commercial beer. The missus has been out to the supermarket today, and this is Gower Power. I think I've had this one before. It's quite a strong one. It's 5.5%. Gower Power, like all our ales, is brewed using traditionally floor malted barley to enhance the powerful alcohol content. This beer is endowed with a good dollop of quality hops. The result is a warming, malty, fruity, strong Welsh ale. That sounds like perfection for me. So, I'm pretty sure I've had this one before, but it was a long time ago, probably about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I'm going to crack this bad boy open. Now, from the description, I was expecting it to be a bit darker than this. Friday drinking is the best, isn't it? There's not much hops coming off that. I can probably smell more hops coming off a Shandy Bass, to be honest. Okay, but it's got quite a nice malty smell, and the malty taste is the most important thing for me. So, cheers. Oh, it's definitely 5.5%. Do you know what that reminds me of? Beer. Now that is nice. It tastes like stronger beer. Some of the ones that I make, they can be 6.5%, but you drink them and you'd swear they're only 4%. So unless, of course, my hydrometer's broken, which it isn't, then, you know, that's the problem. Sometimes I find with a beer like this, when you can taste the fact that it's quite strong, you enjoy it less. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But don't get me wrong, I'm not going to complain. It's Friday. I've been stuck in the house now for the best part of 3 weeks. Pardon me. And I will drink any alcohol that I can get my hands on at the moment. So, I could sink a few of them. Yeah, quite happy with that. So this is from the Gower Brewery. I've only ever seen these in Wales. I've never seen them on the shops when I was living in Nottingham. But maybe you can get them up there, I don't know. But obviously being in Wales myself anyway, it's going to be a lot easier to get hold of these. Made in Swansea, which is about 40 miles from my house, in the Welsh Valleys. In the valleys. Best before end, January 21. I've not much else to really tell you on that one. If you want to give this a go, I definitely recommend it. Especially if you like your stronger beer. If you're not a fan of the stronger ales, then this one definitely isn't for you. So, on to the next one. On to beer number 2. This one is another Welsh ale. It's Thomas Watkins. Okay. Cwrwhaf. I don't speak Welsh, so I don't know what that means. I think that's Welsh something. Beer, maybe? I'd go and ask my next door neighbour, but he doesn't speak Welsh either. He's born and bred here, don't speak Welsh. Brewed in Wales, don't tell you where. Oh, okay, over in Swansea again. A Cwrwhaf, the taste of Welsh summer captured in a bottle. Cwrwhaf is a refreshing golden summer ale brewed only using the finest floor malted barley and wheat, infused with the invigorating citrus flavours of golden and cascade hops. and finished off with a local floral aroma of the famous Fuggle hop. Strange, I would have gone the other way around there. I'd have used the Fuggle hops for bittering and the American hops for the aroma. But oh well. Enjoy Welsh summertime anywhere, any place, rain or shine. Well, it's usually raining here. The sun is shining at the moment. You probably see the reflection off the TV in the background. But that's all gravy. We're going to crack this bad boy open. Let's see what it's like. Something else. I do really love to see the Welsh flag on the bottle top. I consider myself very much an honorary Welshman. To the point now where if England play Wales at anything, I support Wales. So, backstabber, I think. Traitor, I've been called, but I don't give a shit. I love Wales, so. Oh, we're getting a bit of fizz. I'm not normally a golden ale fan. But now that the sun's coming out, I think, well, maybe it is going to be quite refreshing, especially if it is full of citrus hops as well. So, okay. I'm getting very little smell off that. I mean, maybe that's because they've just used Fuggles as an aroma hop. It's not strong enough hop for aroma, in my opinion. And especially the Fuggles hop that the breweries use. I was down at Green King IPA at Christmas. Green King IPA at Green King Brewery at Christmas. Had a team meeting there. It's where my boss lives, over in Bury. And we went to have a brewery tour there. Bearing in mind I already make my own beer. And walking around, I was looking at the actual ingredients that they use, and their Fuggles hops were only 2.4% alpha acid. So that didn't impress me in the slightest. But Green King beer shit anyway, we all know that. Anyway, moving on to this one. This has got really not much smell at all. I thought, no, once the head had died down a bit, that I'd get some smell, but I can't even smell malt on that. There's no smell whatsoever. We're just going to have to dive in and take a test. Well, it tastes like beer. That's the important thing to note. It's 4.2%. Very much on the lower side of the beer that I would drink. I do sometimes think it's good to send Anna out to go and get me beer from the supermarket, because if I say get me a selection of ales, then she doesn't know anything about beer really, so she just picks at random, and then that way it stops me being biased and overthinking it. So I get to try more beers this way. If they've used Cascade in this, they haven't used very much. I know it's a strong alpha hop, but what this says. So on the hoppiness, it said 2 out of 5. I don't know what those little boxes mean. Strength, maybe 3 out of. Anyway, I suppose I should tell you what it tastes like. As soon as you take it in, the first thing that you taste is hops, especially at the back of the tongue. There is a little bit of malt there, but the majority of that is hop, which I like. I do like a hoppy beer, as long as it's done right. Is this a bad beer? No, it's not. I've had far worse than this. But if I were to have made that at home at a 4.2% with no aroma on it whatsoever, I'd have been disappointed with it, and I would have probably made it my keg fodder beer, the one to drink when nobody else is round. So I forgot to score the last one. That Gower Power one. I would say I'd give that a 7 out of 10. This one was a 5 for me. 5.5 maybe. I think 6 is a little bit too generous, but in a way, I mean, I look at that logo and I think of Well, first of all, it looks like a guest ale pump sign. I forget what you call those things now. But I also think it looks a little bit like they've copied the Timothy Taylor Landlord logo. It's probably about the same colour as a Landlord. I think Landlord's gone downhill a bit, quite frankly. It's not the beer it used to be. But I don't want to slag this off because it's not a horrible drink. This caters more for the this is what I would consider a crossover beer. So for somebody looking to make the switch from lager to ale, I've always preferred ale to lager anyway. But as ale has become more popular and more fashionable, there is a need in the market for a beer like this, and that's all I can really say about it. You know, it's I listen to hard dance music, and I hate commercial dance music. However, commercial dance music has its place because that's what gets the kids interested into the underground stuff. All right, so it has a place and we do need it. But if you're an ale drinker, then this probably isn't for you. I don't know many people who do like golden ales. I've only got one mate who actually prefers them, and he's another one that's made the switch from lager to real ale. So, yeah, 5.5 out of 10. I'll give that one. Can't really say much more positive than that. So I'm going to get through that, and then we'll go on to bottle number 3. Let's hope the next one's a belter. Okay, on to beer number 3. So this one we're going for is Jemima's Pitchfork. Okay, so this is a 4.5% golden ale again. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. That's quite rude, especially when you haven't seen me just drink a beer. Oh, it's gassy. That's the problem with these bottled beers. Very gassy. So a crisp pale brew with a gently bitter finish. Citra, get in there. And Eldorado hops bring brilliant undertones of citrus, pear and melon. I think this sounds quite nice for a golden ale, and I've got high hopes for this one. Never tried it before. Now this is made in Mid Glamorgan in Llantrisant Business Park, which is a CF72 postcode. That's not that far away from where I live. So this is a proper local beer. This. I've got to say, I think the bottle's quite a simple design. That doesn't leap out at me off the shelf, and I probably wouldn't have even looked at that. But that, again, advantage of either going out and buying me beer. So let's crack this puppy open and see what we think. Oh, it's very, very light. I mean, you could easily mistake that for a lager. Maybe about the same colour as Stella. Very, very light on the EBCs. Okay. Oh, please be a nice beer, please. Okay. Okay, so they use Eldorado, US Cascade, Citra and Brambling Cross in here. So interesting, a lot of different types of hops. You don't tend to get that very often. So let's have a bit of a sniff. Now I had a bit of a smell of that waft over to me as I was pouring it. And I have to say, that's a very grassy, sexy hop smell. I really like that smell. It's not marijuana, okay, but it's similar. That smells fucking lovely, actually. I could sit and smell that all night. I think it smells fantastic. I think that has to be up there with one of the nicest smelling beers I've ever smelled. Okay, let's jump straight in. Very low on the malt. This is pretty much predominantly hop flavor. When you smell it, you think it's going to be actually a lot stronger than it actually is on the hops, but it's not actually that strong. The hops are more present once you've swallowed it, and then you've got the aftertaste on the back of the tongue. I can't pinpoint. I've never used Brambling Cross or Eldorado before. I can definitely taste a bit of the Citra, and I can definitely taste a bit of the Cascade, but I can't differentiate what the Brambling Cross and the Eldorado is. So maybe that's something for me to look at in the future and use some of those hops in a little experimentation brew. So I'm going to keep a note of that. Going back to what I said before about golden ale, I'd drink that again. I find it very refreshing. There's very recently, probably about a year ago, I'd had this beer before, but I'd had the St Austell's Proper Job. And I never used to like IPA, didn't like American hops at all. If I used American hops, it was only a little bit at the end for aroma. And then I tried Proper Job before. It was really, really, really hot last summer. And I thought, you know what, because I thought, well, grapefruit, okay, yeah, let's give that a go. All right, so I tried the St Austell, and I put it in the fridge. It was really cold. Excuse me, I am so sorry. It was really cold. And my God, was it refreshing on a hot day. And from that point onwards, it's because of that it led me to make my first IPA last year. So I have come around to IPAs and American hops, especially with summer coming up. I am going to be doing I've already got an English brew in the fermentation chamber at the moment, but the next one I've got is going to be a fairly strong IPA. So look, I find this very, very refreshing. You compare this beer to the last one I've just done, and they are worlds apart. Absolute worlds apart. That is refreshing, it's tasty, it's got absolutely the right balance, because it's not too bitter when you drink it. The bitterness comes once you've swallowed it. So it just makes it, well, I'll be honest with you, I'm talking too much and I just want to drink more of it. So, cheers. That's lovely. It really is lovely. I have to say, the second drink wasn't quite as a surprise as the first one. I was expecting something totally different from the first taste. I have to say, that is incredibly quaffable. I could drink that all night. Not a problem at all. So then, Glamorgan Brewing Company. I have to say, of the 3 beers that I have drunk tonight, you absolutely win. I'm going to give you a 9 out of 10. And that's a golden beer. I don't even like golden beers. So, yeah, cracking. It's not too strong either. So, that hits the nail on the head for me. Absolutely the winner. So, if you've tried any of these beers before, you want to leave some comments below, fantastic. Let me know. If there's any beers in particular that you want me to try, then let me know. I'm not a commercial beer channel. Most of my content will be about homebrew, but I have to say, every now and again you try an absolute perler, and I would never have picked that for myself. So well done, Glamorgan Brewing Company. I'm very impressed with that. You get my award of the day. So stay safe, everybody. Stay in your homes and don't spread coronavirus. Take care. Much love.